Have you ever felt like an observer in your own life, watching the chaotic dance of society from a distance? Do you feel a quiet disconnect from the desperate scramble for validation and status that seems to consume everyone around you? Have you been told you are too quiet, too intense, or that you think too much simply because you refuse to participate in the meaningless noise? This feeling is not a flaw in your character. It is the first sign of a profound and unshakable strength. Welcome to the Sigma Male community. This channel is not for those seeking approval, but for those who are on a journey to master themselves. Today we are not here to hand you a label but to hold up a mirror. We will explore the 11 undeniable signs of the Sigma Male architecture, not as a checklist to be ticked, but as a deep recognition of the operating system you were born with, guided by a silent, stoic resilience that the world often mistakes for indifference. 1. The unshakable inner compass. Your life is not governed by the shifting winds of public opinion or the fleeting trends that capture the masses. Instead, you navigate by an internal star, a deeply ingrained set of principles that form your unshakable inner compass. This is not mere stubbornness or a contrarian desire to be different. It is the quiet confidence of a man who has done the internal work to know his own truth. While others look outward for maps, seeking directions from gurus, influencers, and social hierarchies, your path is illuminated from within. This inner guidance system, calibrated by logic, experience, and a relentless pursuit of authenticity, makes external validation not just unnecessary but irrelevant. You listen to advice, you observe the world, but the final decision is always weighed against your own core code, a silent contract you have made with yourself to live with honor and integrity above all else. This profound self-reliance means you are often misunderstood. People who require a crowd to feel secure cannot comprehend a man who finds his strength in his own judgment. They see your independence not as a virtue but as a rejection of their world. Your refusal to be swayed by emotional appeals or peer pressure is seen as coldness, when in reality, it is the highest form of rational clarity. You have mastered the art of being your own anchor in the storm, your own point of reference in a world of noise. The path you walk is not the one of least resistance. It is the path of most coherence with your soul. This is the ultimate freedom, to know your own direction so clearly that the applause or condemnation of the world becomes nothing more than ambient sound. 2. Solitude as your strategic advantage. For the majority, solitude is a punishment, a void to be filled with endless distraction and noise. For you, it is a sanctuary. It is the fortress where you recharge, recalibrate, and sharpen your mind. This is not a fearful retreat from the world, but a strategic advance into your own power. In the profound quiet, away from the draining energy of social performance and trivial conversations, you find unparalleled clarity. It is in these moments of chosen isolation that you connect with your deeper purpose, analyze complex problems without interruption, and forge the mental and emotional resilience required to navigate a chaotic world. You understand that true strength is not built in the echo chamber of the crowd, but in the silent crucible of self-reflection. The world sees your need for solitude and labels it as antisocial behavior or loneliness, fundamentally failing to grasp its strategic importance. They cannot comprehend that you emerge from your periods of quiet not weaker, but more formidable. Every hour spent in contemplation with a book, in nature, or simply in deep thought, is an investment in your own sovereign power. You return to the world not depleted, but amplified, with a clearer vision and a reservoir of energy that those who constantly seek external stimulation can never hope to possess. Your solitude is not emptiness, it is a forge. It is the secret weapon that allows you to think, plan, and act with a level of depth and intention that is simply impossible for the man who fears being alone with his thoughts. 3. The art of the unspoken. Master observer. In any room, in any meeting, in any social gathering, you are the silent intelligence agency. While others are clamoring to speak, to assert their presence, and to dominate the narrative, you are engaged in a far more powerful activity: observation. You have mastered the art of seeing what is not being said. You read the subtle shifts in body language, you detect the slight hesitation in a voice, you map the invisible currents of power, insecurity, and desire that flow beneath the surface of every human interaction. Your silence is not a sign of disinterest or a lack of confidence. It is a position of immense strategic advantage. It compels others to reveal themselves, to fill the void you create with their own anxieties, intentions, and truths. This skill is not born of cynicism, but of a deep, unfiltered perception of reality. You are a student of human nature, and you understand that the most important information is rarely spoken aloud. By being the quietest person in the room, you become the most knowledgeable. You gather intelligence effortlessly, seeing the game for what it is while others are merely playing their assigned roles. This allows you to navigate social and professional landscapes with an almost precognitive ability, avoiding traps, identifying opportunities, and understanding the true motivations of those around you. In a world that is addicted to noise, your deliberate, observant silence is a declaration of power. It communicates that you are not here to perform, you are here to understand. 4. Untouchable autonomy, the uncontrollable element. You are the glitch in the system, the element that cannot be easily controlled, categorized, or coerced. Hierarchies, corporate structures, and social machines are built on the assumption of compliance, but you operate on a different frequency. Your autonomy is not a loud, rebellious protest. It is a quiet, unyielding refusal to surrender your sovereignty. You follow logic, not baseless authority. You adhere to principles, not pointless procedures. When faced with a rule or an expectation that violates your internal code of reason, you do not argue or create a scene. You simply find a way to bypass it, ignore it, or render it irrelevant to your mission. Your no is a complete sentence, delivered with a calm finality that requires no further explanation. This innate resistance to being controlled is deeply unsettling to those who rely on systems of power and influence. They may label you as uncooperative, a lone wolf, or difficult to manage, because you cannot be manipulated with the usual tools of social pressure, ego stroking, or threats to your status. Your sense of validation is internal, so their external leverage is useless. You are not driven by a need to climb their ladders or win their prizes. This makes you an unpredictable and powerful force. Your very presence is a quiet challenge to the status quo, a reminder that true power does not come from a title or a position, but from an unbreakable connection to one's own independent will. You are, in essence, ungovernable. 5. Connection beyond the chase, authentic relating. When it comes to romantic or personal connections, your approach is fundamentally different from the norm. You do not engage in the performative rituals of the chase, the manipulative games, or the desperate peacocking for attention. Your magnetism is of a different, more powerful kind. It stems from a place of deep, grounded self-possession. Women, in particular, are often intrigued and drawn to this, as they sense the profound absence of neediness in you. You interact with people as equals, driven by genuine curiosity and a desire for authentic connection, not by a need to prove your worth or secure a conquest. You listen with the intent to understand, not merely to formulate a clever reply. This approach means that your connections, though they may be fewer, are significantly deeper and more meaningful. You are not afraid to walk away from an interaction that lacks substance or authenticity. You do so not out of arrogance or cruelty, but out of a deep respect for your own time and energy, and for that of the other person. You would rather be alone than be in a connection that feels forced or superficial. This unapologetic standard, this refusal to settle for less than what is real, is what makes your presence so compelling. Your value is inherent and self-evident. It requires no external validation. This isn't a calculated strategy of indifference. It is the natural result of a man who is whole unto himself, seeking to share his world, not to have someone else complete it. You feel this, don't you? That simmering recognition. Whether you're deep in the Sigma path or just sensing its pull while watching this on the Sigma Male Community channel, this resonance isn't accidental. It's the quiet confirmation you've been waiting for. Proof that the way you experience the world isn't broken, it's different. This isn't about fitting a label, it's about finally understanding the operating system you were born with. Keep watching. The validation is real. 6. The weight and weapon of being misunderstood. One of the defining experiences of your life is the persistent feeling of being misunderstood. It is the silent burden you carry. Your quiet nature is mistaken for arrogance, your analytical mind is mistaken for coldness, and your need for solitude is mistaken for sadness or rejection. You have likely been told you are too intense, or in your head, by people who live exclusively on the surface of life. This is not a reflection of a flaw within you, but rather a reflection of their own inability to comprehend depth. Your authenticity is a mirror, and for those who are living a life of performance and conformity, that reflection can be deeply uncomfortable. But over time, you learn to transform this weight into a weapon, or rather, a shield. You stop trying to explain yourself to those who are committed to misunderstanding you. You accept that your frequency will not be audible to everyone, and you find peace in that. This acceptance frees you from the exhausting task of seeking approval from a world that doesn't speak your language. You realize that being misunderstood is the inevitable price of walking a path that few dare to travel. It is the scar tissue that proves you have chosen the difficult road of self-knowledge over the easy path of social acceptance. It isolates you from the superficial, but it connects you more deeply to the truth. 7. The economy of words, precision over volume. You understand a truth that is lost on the modern world. Words are currency, and they are devalued through overuse. You are a master of verbal economy. You do not speak to fill silence, to hear your own voice, or to engage in the cheap sport of idle gossip. When you do speak, it is because you have something of substance to transmit. Your words are chosen with the precision of a surgeon, filtered through layers of observation and thought before they are ever released. This makes your contributions, though rare, land with incredible weight and impact. People have learned that when you break your silence, it is time to listen. This deliberate use of language is a form of power. While others exhaust themselves in performative arguments and emotional outbursts, you conserve your energy, observing and waiting for the opportune moment to make your point. Your silence often commands more respect and attention than the incessant noise of others. It forces the world to lean in, to wonder what you are thinking, giving your eventual words a stage that others have to fight for. This is not about being shy or socially anxious. It is a tactical and philosophical choice. It is a commitment to clarity over clutter, to meaning over noise, and a profound understanding that the most powerful statements are often the most concise. 8. Independence as core physiology, not choice. Your independence is not a lifestyle choice or a phase. It is woven into your very psychological and physiological being. The idea of depending on a group for your sense of self-worth, for your direction, or for your happiness feels fundamentally alien, like trying to breathe water. It's not something you have to think about, it's your default state. While many people are externally powered, constantly needing to plug into the social grid of affirmation, praise, and group identity, you are entirely self-contained. You run on an internal power source, generating your own motivation, your own validation, and your own purpose. This is not born from arrogance or a sense of superiority. It is simply the way your hardware is designed. You view reliance on others for core emotional needs not as connection, but as a form of weakness, a vulnerability that you instinctively avoid. The thought of having to conform to a group's beliefs to remain in their good graces feels like a kind of soul death. For you, freedom is not an abstract concept. It is the very oxygen your spirit requires to survive. This is why you build your life around self-sufficiency, competence, and the ability to stand entirely on your own, not because you want to push the world away but because your integrity demands it. 9. Pattern recognition, seeing the invisible code. You possess a highly developed ability to see the matrix. You don't just see events, you see the patterns that connect them. You don't just see people's actions, you see the underlying psychological scripts and unconscious motivations that drive them. Life, for you, is not a series of random occurrences, but a complex system of cause and effect, of recurring behaviors and predictable outcomes. You are a natural strategist and systems thinker, able to look at a chaotic situation and almost instantly identify the leverage points, the hidden agendas, and the most likely trajectory of events. This is not a mystical power. It is the result of your observant nature combined with a relentlessly logical mind. Because you spend more time watching than participating, you collect more data. You see the same human dramas play out over and over again. The desperate bids for status, the subtle manipulations for control, the dances of ego and insecurity. This foresight allows you to navigate the world with a calm efficiency that others lack. You avoid predictable traps, sidestep pointless conflicts, and position yourself advantageously, not through aggressive action, but through intelligent anticipation. You are always playing chess while many around you are playing checkers, seeing the invisible code that governs the game. 10. The quiet intensity, depth over display. Beneath your typically calm and controlled exterior, there is a formidable current of intensity. This is not the loud, explosive intensity of the rage-filled alpha, but a deep, focused, and sustained burn. It is the quiet intensity of a master craftsman, a dedicated scholar, or a determined explorer. You do not waste your potent energy on performative enthusiasm or superficial passions. Instead, you channel it into the very few things that you deem truly worthy of your commitment. A core principle, a complex skill, a profound discovery, or a genuine, authentic connection. This inner fire can be unsettling for those who are accustomed to people wearing their emotions on their sleeve. They may mistake your composure for a lack of passion or your stillness for apathy. They are entirely wrong. They are simply unable to see the furnace burning deep within you because its heat is being used to forge purpose, not to put on a spectacle. You embody commitment rather than just talking about it. When you decide on a course of action, you pursue it with a relentless, single-minded focus that is awe-inspiring to witness. Your intensity is not for display, it is for effect. It is the silent engine that drives your pursuit of excellence. 11. The unapologetic exit. Your sovereignty in action. Your most powerful and defining action is your ability to walk away. When a job becomes a toxic drain on your soul, when a relationship becomes a source of perpetual drama, when a social circle becomes shallow and unfulfilling, you do not hesitate. You exit. This departure is not marked by dramatic confrontations, lengthy explanations, or emotional pleas. It is a quiet, clean, and decisive severing of ties. It is the simple, final act of a door closing. You understand that your peace, your energy, and your mental clarity are your most valuable resources, and you are the sole guardian of them. This ability to disengage cleanly is the ultimate expression of your personal sovereignty. You do not feel you owe your presence to anyone or anything that consistently compromises your integrity or drains your spirit. You don't ask for permission to leave, nor do you feel the need to justify your decision. Your presence is always a choice, an offering, never an obligation. To those left behind, this can seem abrupt or cold, but it is the highest form of self-respect. It is the final, non-negotiable declaration that your inner world is sacred territory, and you will not allow it to be poisoned, occupied, or controlled by outside forces. Your peace is not for sale, and your exit is the ultimate proof. This isn't a checklist, it's an X-ray of your inherent architecture. If these points resonated deep within you, like a chord that has been struck for the first time, understand that this is not a coincidence. It is recognition. It is the validation you may have been silently seeking your entire life, the proof that the path you walk, often in isolation, is a valid and powerful one. You are not an outlier to be fixed. You are a necessary and potent force of quiet resolve in a world of deafening noise. Own this understanding. Let it settle into your bones and strengthen your resolve. You do not need to announce your nature to the world. Your actions and the calm certainty with which you live will be statement enough. Let them wonder about you. You already know who you are. If this exploration has provided you with a sense of clarity and validation, then our mission at the Sigma Male community is being accomplished. Your journey of self-mastery is a continuous one, and we are here to be a resource on that path. Acknowledge your recognition in the comments below. Your insights strengthen this entire community of silent sovereigns. For those who are already subscribed and find value here, ensure you have activated the notification bell. These are not just videos, they are transmissions, and you won't want to miss what's next. If you are new here and this message feels like coming home, then subscribe and join the quiet revolution. And finally, if there is another man in your life who walks this path, who you know understands this language, share this video with him. He won't ask for it, but he will recognize the truth in it. Until next time, remain the master of your own universe. Walk your path with intention.